Before I knew it, Monday came and it was time to hit the road again. The day was gray, and I got my first bit of light rain as I headed towards Milford, Connecticut. Feeling rested and sporting the new pedal clips that my brother had bought and installed for me, I immediately noticed how much easier the going was. Before I knew it, I was 20 miles into my ride, and I came upon the New Haven and Northampton Canal Line and Farmington Canal Heritage Trail. A fellow cyclist assured me that the trail was flat all the way to New Haven, a good 20 miles away. The ride into Milford ended up being the easiest ride so far. The following morning I got a bit of a later start as I lost track of time while sharing conversation over breakfast with my host before heading towards Larchmont, New York, just across the border. There were lots of hills all along my route, and if Monday was one of my best rides, Tuesday was one of my worst. The 50 miles seemed to drag on, and I caught a bit of rain during the last 5 miles. Needless to say, I was very happy to finally finish my day in New York. The next day I set out early towards New Jersey. After navigating my way through the Bronx, I got to the Hudson River Greenway, which allowed me to get off the roads for the length of Manhattan. The Greenway was busier than any other bike path I had been on, and at times it felt like I was on a regular road with all the other cyclists buzzing by me. I caught the ferry to New Jersey, and after passing through Newark and crossing a couple of busy bridges and one crazy interchange, I finished my day in Springfield Township, New Jersey. The next morning I was on the road by 6 a.m. due to my host's schedule. With the early hour, I did catch the morning traffic, but the going was flat, and I was excited to get to my destination at Pipersville, Pennsylvania, to see my relatives. 20 miles in, I reached the Delaware and Raritan State Park Trail, a crushed stone path that brought me 15 miles into central New Jersey. Once I got back on the roads, I had to take a 4-mile detour due to a bridge outage, but by noon I was back on course and halfway to my destination. I crossed over the state line in New Hope, Pennsylvania, where I had a stern talking to for riding across the bridge instead of walking it across the sidewalk. But no harm done, I quickly got onto the Delaware Canal towpath that brought me within less than 10 miles of my destination. I came upon a few long hills on my last stretch, but it wasn't long before I reached my relatives. Spending the next day resting and catching up with my relatives was a fantastic way to recharge in Pennsylvania. My uncle grilled up some burgers to top the evening off, of which I ate 4. Saturday morning they treated me to pancakes and strawberries before I set out for the 40-mile ride down to Philadelphia. It was a beautiful ride, starting with the 202 Parkway Trail, then Forbidden Drive, a wide trail through the forest that was teeming with pedestrians and cyclists alike. Once I got into Philadelphia, my uncle and cousin picked me up and took me for a tour around the city. They treated me to a cheesesteak at Jim's on South Street, and we ended the night with pictures at the Rocky statue. I already know that I'm going to have a hard time beating my visit in Pennsylvania. I left on Sunday for Northeast Maryland. I made good time, and it wasn't long before I crossed over first into Delaware, then Maryland. Once in Maryland, I got onto Route 40 West, which brought me more than 20 miles to my destination. Even though it had a wide shoulder and a bike lane, I wouldn't recommend the ride. It was a bit unpleasant with all the cars speeding by. From northeast, I'll continue west towards West Virginia, and from there, head south towards Florida. At least, that's the plan anyways.